In the year 859, the world was a very different place. Kingdoms rose and fell, empires clashed, and most of humanity was steeped in what we now call the Dark Ages. But in a quiet corner of Fez, Morocco, a single decision was made by one woman, a decision that would send ripples across time and silently reshape the course of human civilization. This is the story of Fatima al-Fihri, a name you've probably never heard, but whose legacy you have almost certainly benefited from. Her father, Mohammed al-Fihri, was a successful businessman who understood the immense value of education. They weren't just taught to read, they were taught to think, to analyze, and to dream. In the early 9th century, the family migrated from their home in Karawiyyin to the bustling city of Fez in Morocco. Fez was a vibrant, multicultural hub, a melting pot of ideas, trade, and cultures. It was here that the al-Fihri family continued to prosper. But with great fortune often comes great sorrow. In a short period, Fatima experienced profound loss. Her father, her husband, and her brother all passed away, leaving her and her sister Maryam with a substantial inheritance. What would you do with that wealth? Build a lavish palace? Secure a life of comfort and luxury? But Fatima al-Fihri was different. She and her sister saw their inheritance not as a means for personal gain, but as a sacred trust, a responsibility. They decided to invest their fortune back into their community, to create something that would last far beyond their own lifetimes. Maryam dedicated her portion of the inheritance to building the beautiful Al-Andalus Mosque. Fatima, however, had an even grander vision. She noticed that the local mosques in her district of Fez were becoming overcrowded, and there was a growing need for a larger space for worship and, crucially, for learning. She envisioned a place that would not just be a mosque, but a center for intellectual and spiritual life, a place where knowledge could flourish and be shared. So, in the year 859 CE, Fatima al-Fihri laid the foundation for the Al-Qarawiyyin mosque. She was deeply involved in every aspect of its construction, personally overseeing the project from start to finish. Historical accounts say that she fasted every single day from the first day of construction until the very last, praying for the project's success. She didn't just write a check. She poured her heart, her faith, and her very soul into the stones and mortar of that building. She wanted to ensure that every part of it was built with pure intentions and from her own legitimate resources. But this is where the story gets truly revolutionary. Al-Qarawiyyin wasn't just a place for prayer. Attached to the mosque, Fatima established a madrasa, a school. Initially, the curriculum focused on religious studies and the Quran, but it quickly expanded. The institution began offering courses in a dazzling array of subjects: mathematics, astronomy, chemistry, medicine, law, grammar, rhetoric, and logic. It was a beacon of intellectual curiosity in a world where such pursuits were often viewed with suspicion. What Fatima had created was something the world had never seen before. It became a magnet for scholars, poets, philosophers, and scientists from across Africa, the Middle East, and even Europe. Think of the greatest minds of the time. They either studied at or were influenced by the famous Jewish philosopher Maimonides, is said to have spent time there. The Andalusian geographer and cartographer Al-Idrisi, whose maps were used by European explorers for centuries, was associated with it. Ibn Khaldun, a pioneer of sociology and history, taught there. A European scholar named Gerbert of Aralac, who later became Pope Sylvester II, is believed to have studied at Al-Qarawiyyin, and it is thought that he was instrumental in introducing Arabic numerals and the concept of zero to the rest of Europe. Let's pause and think about the significance of that. The numbers we use every day, the foundation of modern mathematics and technology, were popularized in Europe, partly thanks to a center of learning founded by a Muslim woman in North Africa. That is an incredible and largely forgotten piece of history. Al-Qarawiyyin pioneered academic concepts we take for granted today. It is credited with being the first institution in the world to award degrees for different fields of study, to have a formal curriculum, and to establish chairs for different subjects. Students would travel for months, sometimes years, to sit at the feet of the great masters teaching there. This wasn't just a school. It was the world's first university. Yes, you heard that right. While institutions like Bologna, Oxford, and Cambridge are celebrated as ancient seats of learning, Al-Qarawiyyin predates them all by hundreds of years. UNESCO and the Guinness World Records officially recognize it as the oldest existing continually operating educational institution in the world. It has been in operation for over 1,160 years. What's so extraordinary about Fatima's story is her humility. She wasn't seeking fame or power. In fact, for centuries, her role was largely overshadowed by the institution she created. She sought no throne. She commanded no army. She wrote no grand manifesto. Her legacy was not etched in statues of gold, but in the minds of the millions of students who have passed through Al-Qarawiyyin's halls. Her weapon was knowledge. Her monument was education. She understood a fundamental truth, that building palaces gives you a home, but building a library gives the world a future. She used her resources, her intellect, and her faith to build an institution that would empower generations. She didn't just open a door for herself. She built a gateway for the entire world. Today, Al-Qarawiyyin University is still a vibrant part of Morocco's educational system, integrated into the state university network in 1963. The original mosque still stands, its ancient library recently restored, housing priceless manuscripts that date back centuries. You can walk through its courtyards and feel the weight of history, the echoes of scholarly debates, and the quiet footsteps of 1,000 years of students seeking wisdom. Fatima al-Fihri's story is a powerful reminder that history is filled with unsung heroes. It challenges our preconceived notions of who drives progress and innovation. It shows that one person with a clear vision and a generous spirit can indeed change the world. She didn't just fund a building. She invested in humanity's potential. Her legacy is a testament to the transformative power of education and the enduring impact of a single visionary act of generosity. So, the next time you think of the world's great universities or the history of education, remember the story of Fatima al-Fihri, the woman who built knowledge itself, the forgotten mother of modern education. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as I did, please hit that like button, subscribe for more hidden histories, and share this video to help us bring Fatima's incredible legacy to the world. See you next time.